Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. Hope you are having an amazing day. We're taking a look, of course, here at Bitcoin, helping you, with the best practice and big picture, make sure you understand what's going to happen next, at least with a statistical probability. Because again, when you're looking at technical analysis, it's all about probabilities of either direction where you're going. You're extracting small pieces of information from each time frame and make an evaluated decision. That's really all there is to it. It's a numbers game, really, and there's no definitive yes, no, maybe so. It's like, well, every situation is different, changes consistently. So just please understand that. If you're new to the channel, though, keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do love teaching people to trade. That's why I created a trading academy where I teach you everything that I know, my 17 years of experience all in one, as well as trade signals, and of course an amazing community at your back. So I send out signals for every single trade that I take. We've been taking some decent profits here recently. We took a lot last week. This weekend it was a little quiet, of course, because Bitcoin didn't go where it wanted to, or where I would like for it to have gone, but now it's doing that today. So a bit of a delay, but it'll absolutely come through. Furthermore, too, if you want to be part of an amazing competition, we have monthly prize pools of $10,000 through Bitget. If you register with my with my link in the description below, you would be eligible for that anytime we have those competitions. And it's really awesome too, because it's based on profit and loss ratio. There's also trading volume as well, and then there's $4,000 extra that's essentially provided for anyone who trades 3 million in volume or higher. Okay, and right now we currently have 1.5 folks that are eligible for that, so it's going to be a pretty decent little prize pool. So again, check that out in your own time. Phenomenal exchange outside of just the competitions alone. They have excellent level 2 data. You can get in and out of the trades quickly. You've got ways of quickly adjusting your trades too. It's just, if you're a precise trader, it's the right exchange for you. Okay, so be sure to check that out. So here's the thing with Bitcoin. Pretty straightforward in the sense that we had a funky weekend, but today, of course, is green. Big surprise. We're up 2.5 to 3.5% for traditional markets, and then of course, dollar index is down as well. So these are all positive signs in the overall sense of allowing Bitcoin to flourish. I wouldn't say we're like dominating per se today, but it's definitely a good day to be able to see a good, just some green across the board. For the most part, most coins are green today, and that's a good sign. Okay, so again, generally speaking, the consensus is positive. If we take a look at RSI, we're retesting 50 on the RSI. This is a good sign as well. So if we can break above 19,600, or just say maybe 19.5 as a round number, then we would likely be able to continue higher. Okay, preferably a 19.6 or higher would be great, because that is a Fibonacci retracement level, if you can see here. And you can see the price got rejected there initially when it attempted that, but it is likely going to retest. And here's the kind of cool thing. You could even argue that this is a double bottom, where the price action should increase from here as well to break, or just at least retest, at the very least, 19,800 and get past that resistance level. Okay, so we got some room for or a lot of potential roadblocks ahead of us, but on the same accord, some positive momentum going into that. You can see we got a MACD convergence here as well. It's starting to form on the daily, and if we break 50 on the RSI, which we're trying to do, we're very close to it, we should likely continue higher from here. Okay, so we're hoping for a closure above 19.5, preferably above 19.6 today. Okay, so taking a look at the 4-hour, let's quickly acknowledge here that we are below. Well, actually, correction, we are above all moving averages. I'm so used to saying that we're below that it just kind of came out naturally. We are above all moving averages on the 4-hour. In fact, I forgot to look at that on the daily, and I think that the 50 is something that we want to pay attention to as well. We got rejected at 50 on the moving average. So generally speaking, we are facing a resistance level there at 19,800 to 19,700. It's kind of a resistant zone. A closure above 19,800 would be fantastic, but I think we might have to wait till tomorrow to get that. Either way, moving averages are looking good on the 4-hour, and this is a transitionary time frame telling us that we're above some important support levels there, and that's helpful. Okay, so the price, if it were to pull back, shouldn't pull back greatly, but again, we got to give it time, because the 200-day set moving average was just barely broken 8 hours ago, and you don't want to just jump right in based on that sentiment. Okay, so I would say try to be patient, but everything here, MACD and RSI, are looking pretty good. They're pretty much just telling us that a long position is much more viable than a short at this time. Okay, again, this is a 4-hour time frame telling us that the daily is going to start looking better as that continues to progress. When we look at the hourly, though, this is where it kind of gets interesting, because you can see when yesterday's market had opened, basically in the afternoon, there was some interesting up and down behavior yesterday. And then, of course, NASDAQ, like to say S&P 500, the futures essentially opened right at this point. They started to do well, so the price action continued higher. Then, of course, it opened up pretty strong here today 4 hours ago and pushed up even further. So it's kind of standard stuff there in that sense. That's why Sunday nights are always pretty interesting. So you want to be cautious and careful how you approach the market. But if you look at just say traditional markets like S&P or NASDAQ E-mini futures, whatever the case is, you can essentially kind of see when the market had opened, it's done very well for itself, and Bitcoin's following suit, right? So pretty standard stuff. Taking a look at TD sequential though, we can see we're exhausted here. We hit a rejection point at the 9 on TD sequential, right up there at 19,600. It's consolidating now with a potential retest of that level. There is also potential of a pullback to 19,300. I wouldn't be upset with that, because then it would have more of a leg to stand on and have an opportunity to increase from here. But the bottom line is we have seen 2 9s in a row, so it would make sense that the price action would consolidate and go sideways or retrace, pull back to the most recent high, which is right there at about 19,400. Okay, so that's generally what we're looking for there. Cloud is mostly positive, lag and spans free and clear of the price action, conversion lines above the baseline. And then of course we got the cloud itself kind of averaging itself out right at this support level here on Fibonacci at 19,300. So again, price does come back down there to essentially create a higher low. We'd be in good shape to still see the price right out. Okay, so I would prefer for the price to pull back a little bit and then bounce off of that support level. Again, we don't always get what we want, and that's perfectly fine. Generally speaking, we're still in good shape here with Bitcoin. I think we should expect the general consensus for it to be positive over the next couple of days, because there's no crazy major news events and nothing that's really truly on the horizon here for Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. We're all set and good to go in that regard. Okay. So all in all, I would say mostly positive here. I think there's a stronger chance of further upside than there would be downside, but it would make sense that we are going to consolidate for the next 24 hours or less before we leg up again. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Same thing follows suit for traditional markets as well. We want to make sure to pay attention to how the trading market opens tomorrow, because that'll dictate a lot of how Bitcoin is going to perform. Right, maybe even taking a look at those pre-market hours in the morning would be great. So it's generally what we're looking at there. So again, all in all, fantastic shape here in a general sense for Bitcoin. Hope that this made sense to you and I was described this correctly. But generally speaking, all good things, I would say, for the most part here. One last thing before I let you go, I'll just ask you a quick favor. If you could, go ahead and join me on social media. I'm kind of starting to get that built up here, and it would be very much appreciated to get your help there in that regard, to just continue to just follow them and help me grow that, right? Because that's the whole point, is to kind of be able to get more people to be able to see the channel, and that's a great way of doing it. Okay, so again, feel free to check that out in your own time. Everything's in the description below. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.